It all feels just out of control, doesn't it? Things have happened so fast. Could you have imagined, as you celebrated last Christmas, that by Easter, life as we knew it would have virtually ground to a halt? Where we talked of school, the workplace, the Premier League, holidays, going out at the weekend, our vocabulary has rapidly switched to pandemic, self-isolation, death rates, social distancing, lockdown. People are reacting in different ways to the coronavirus outbreak. There are the preppers on their mission to stock up their cupboards and deep freezers at any cost. There are the jesters, always grateful for a bit of fodder, an idea that might make their latest meme go viral. And of course the whingers, they just want to know what's going to happen to their season ticket now. There are the downplayers. Oh, this whole corona malarkey, it'll blow over soon. Who's on for a beach trip? And yes, the panickers, which is likely many of us. What does this mean for my job, my income, my exams, my future, my loved ones? So many different reactions. But what's yours? I live and work in Southampton. Among other things, it's one of the great port cities of the world. The Mayflower sailed from here. But so did the Titanic. That great symbol of hubris. The supposedly unsinkable ship well and truly sunk by a lumbering Atlantic iceberg that seemed to come out of nowhere. Here's my question. Could the coronavirus be our lumbering iceberg, the thing that's opened up a gaping hole in our seemingly unsinkable lives? See, we thought we were in control. We thought we were in control of our security. Work hard, look after your own, take education seriously, save a bit for a rainy day, and you should be all right. That's the kind of principle many of us have lived by for years. And 8 times out of 10, perhaps it seemed to hold true in a fashion. But not now. Deep down, I think we've always known we couldn't really keep ourselves safe. We've never really been able to protect ourselves from the world in the way that we've set out to. And now with fatalities on exponential curves and personal tragedies coming ever closer, the fib we've been telling ourselves is blown wide open. Our technology is helpful, but as we sit in virtual lockdown, as many of us are, there's no getting away from the sheer helplessness we feel. That proud hull of our self-sufficiency is well and truly pierced by the iceberg of this little virus. But if we can't rely on ourselves, who can we rely on? The Christian Bible has a suggestion. God is our refuge and strength, it says, an ever-present help in trouble. Millions down the ages and around the world have found those words have rung true to their own experience, that there is one who has his hands on the controls. He knows what he's doing. He's worthy of our trust. We thought we were in control of our security, and we thought we were in control of our behaviour. When life felt predictable, well, we muddled along. We were nice to each other, others were nice to us. It was a convenient contract, and we told ourselves we were decent people. And then Corona came, and we watched people elbowing their way to the final loaf of bread on the rack, flouting the stay-home advice, knowing that it likely wouldn't be them but others who suffered the most if they got it and passed it on. And then bickering with the people they were locked up with back at home. It was depressing. But then it got worse, because we realised at heart we're not so very different from those others. We put on a good show, but when it comes to the crunch, we'll always put number one first. Can't stop ourselves. Well, again, that reality of our hearts tallies with some words from the Bible, this time from one of the closest friends of Jesus himself. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. Every one of us is a pro at this. Yes, we talk the talk. There are even gestures and kindnesses we're anxious to show at a time like this. As I say, we put on a good show, even to ourselves. But when we take a good hard look in the mirror, we know we've been rumbled. The facade has been ripped open by that iceberg. The reality that confronts us is that we're past masters of pushing God away, pushing others down, and putting ourselves on the throne. We can't stop ourselves. But one more thing. We thought we were in control, of our destinies. And can we talk about this now? Nobody ever wants to talk about death, do they? But here's the thing. Every now and then its shadow passes so close to us, we just can't avoid the subject anymore. As the death toll mounts, this is surely one of those times. You've heard that account of life, I'm sure, that says you and I are no more than random collections of particles swirling around the cosmos, here today, gone tomorrow. There's no meaning, no purpose, no hope. My destiny isn't a problem because when I die, there'll be no more me. Maybe when you felt invincible and the whole world view thing felt like an intellectual game, you were impressed by that theory. And now it's suddenly got real. And that lack of meaning, purpose, hope suddenly matters. Or perhaps you went along with the idea of there being something after death, but you felt like, well, I've pretty much got this covered. Well, let me ask you, are you still so confident? I mentioned Jesus earlier. He was famous for his teaching, but perhaps even more famous for his death on a Roman cross. A death he explained ahead of time as an intentional act of self-sacrifice to give freedom to people who badly needed it. People whose prospects looked grim because of the way they treated God could now have a wonderful destiny opened up to them. Just before Jesus breathed his last, a man also being hung to death right next to him turned to him, handed over the controls to his life, put his destiny in the hands of Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Or maybe our destiny is in the hands of someone else. How will you respond to the coronavirus? Are you still sailing on as before, standing on the bridge of your great ocean liner, or has the great unsinkable you been pierced in some way and laid bare? If you'd like to know more about the God who really is in control and where you fit in his world,
then why not contact us at Cornerstone Evangelical Church in Abergavenny. You can come to our website at www.abercec.org.uk. We'd love to help you.